Here we are on this beautiful Thursday morning. No one might know, but my video got flagged and taken down for inappropriate content yesterday morning. I guess you're not allowed to say the C word or have an opinion one way or another. I mean, I'm guessing it probably was my opinion that got it flagged, because I don't think stuff's as bad as they try to make you think it is. But they'll shut me up on here, at least. Doesn't stop me from talking to people I know in person. Good old-fashioned way. Should be getting a call anytime now from my sister. She should be on her way to work or getting to work as well. You know, it seemed like winter just left and summer started. No spring. I went from 30s and snow to 80s and 90s overnight. I mean, within a week, to be honest with you. Which is kind of crazy. But hey, the cold is over for the year, then the cold is over. The beauty of the Northeast, where the temperatures can fluctuate substantially, like a lot. Yes, and I know I have a white beard. Not old yet, or I guess gray beard old enough. It's vitiligo. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a skin pigment. Come on, squirrel. Go. I hit a squirrel right before work. That'd be bad juju. Yeah, it's a skin pigment coloration, I think, killer. It doesn't allow any color to gain in my skin. In fact, when I was like 10 or 11, I would get whiskers, like beard whiskers, only on the white part. So I was 11 years old, shaving a few white whiskers here, because they had to shave it because I would have white whiskers and then nothing. So it was always kind of strange in that aspect. Blue jay. Huh, that's pretty cool. That's good juju. You know, it's always so peaceful in the morning. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning in a city. And there's still traffic. People are waking up, but the only people who usually are awake are people probably going to work like me. Living that grind, you know, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, well, 7 to 3:30, whatever, or 7 to 5. It's just that life. Yeah, paycheck to paycheck. What are you gonna do? Then YouTube wants to take shit down because, yeah, whatever. God forbid you have an opinion, even a nobody like myself. Oh, it's a little crooked. Sorry about that. There we go. Get the nice, cool breeze shooting in. Go down a little bit so the sound isn't messed up. You know, I am a tractor trailer mechanic, a truck mechanic, well, tractor trailer mechanic, and I have a feeling that my job working on tractor trailers might be obsolete the next 10 years because EVs are taking over. Every car manufacturer across the world has an EV out now, if not coming out. So it would be probably on me now, thinking, almost knowing this is going to happen, to jump on that train. Try and find a job working on EVs. Because the hard part about mechanics, generally, it's people stuck in old ways. Oh, it's gas power or nothing. But I mean, I don't feel that way. I just feel like I don't know that. I don't know how to work on that yet. So it would be probably smart of me to start learning now. Because odds are I'm never going to be rich, never going to be living fancy cars. I'm not going to be able to just live life like everyone else can that you see on TV and podcasts and YouTube reality stars or whatever the fuck they are. I mean, if you can live life by traveling the world and taking pictures and live off of that, all the power to you. Happy for you. But with the other 98% of America that kind of has to work, it's not really an option, you know? It's up to me to keep going with time or get left behind. If I get left behind and time goes by and then I just become obsolete, like the VHS or the Betamax. I never used a Betamax, so I've heard of them. VHS all the way. Oh boy, that gas station always got cops all over it. The popos. They always be puppy shit in there. Just spouting off terms. What's a good form? I am happy about the Milwaukee Bucks. They just won Game 5. I think it's kind of crazy in NBA right now that it's not a bigger story that the biggest superstar in basketball is a non-American. I think it's the first time this ever happened. I mean, I don't know ever when the biggest basketball star in the world, the best basketball player in the world, was not an American. I mean, maybe before it got popular, 30s, 40s, 50s maybe. Because ever since Wilt, Hakeem, I believe, was born in a different country. Kareem, I think, was. So that might have been the one exception. So he had to be among the greatest, at least in the talks, in the 80s. I mean, he was one of the best big men, if not the best big man ever. But I don't know if he was... I do know he changed his name because it was like his slave name or some stupid shit. I don't know. Yeah, Giannis. First one. Maybe second. But does that say the world is caught up to America on basketball? I mean, if that's the case, shit. I mean, Luka, they keep saying is going to be the next LeBron. He's a white guy from Slovenia. When have you ever heard anything from Slovenia? It's kind of crazy. And Greece, freaking Giannis. Giannis is my favorite player. I like the freak. The Greek freak. I love the fact that he doesn't want to play buddy-buddy with all the other NBA stars. He doesn't want to jump ship and board a super team. And all you've heard about the last few years is the only way you can win a championship. But Giannis just won it his way last year. And I'm sure you could say there was injuries, there's caveats, there's this, there's that. It doesn't matter. The fact is, he won it his way. There's always exceptions to the rule. And greatness, a lot of time, can reach those exceptions. I mean, shit. Before Jordan, it wasn't just a one-man show. It was what? The great Celtics teams. Bird was the head of it, but they had McHale. They had a bunch of other good players on the team. The Lakers had a two-headed monster with Kareem and Magic. The Pistons had the bad boys. Boys, plural. But then Jordan came. I mean, I guess you could say Jordan and Pippen, but I don't know. I think Pippen gets too much credit. Nothing against Pippen. I think he is an awesome defender. Fantastic defender. But all-around player, I don't see him as one of the greats. I really, really don't. I think if he didn't play next to Michael Jordan, he would not be on the top 200, let alone the top 50 of all time. Pippen was a hard-nosed defender. If you want to go defender, top 10 of all time. He can defend basically 1 through 5, to be honest with you. But all around, I think Pippen's more of a Gobert than a Giannis. Just a great defender. Maybe a Smart. I mean, honestly, think about it. How many players could you put with Jordan now? You picture Jordan in his prime in the 90s. Think of nowadays with the NBA players. How many players could you put next to Jordan and have all the other role players the same, just take Pippen out and put X player there? How many would win a championship with Jordan? Multiple championships with Jordan. Dame, yeah. All the superstars. I mean, LeBron, of course. I mean, he'd freaking bow down to Jordan. KD, God, that would be deadly. Dame, no question. Giannis, yeah. Joel, well, see, I don't know if Joel would fit because they had centers. So it would have to be another wing like him. So let's think of that. Booker, yeah, absolutely. Is Booker better than Pippen? I mean, scoring-wise, yeah. And Booker's a young guy. Tatum. Tatum's close to Pippen. You know, Tatum is probably really close to Pippen, how I look at Pippen, what type of player he is. That's how I think. And they keep, wanting to push him into that superstar status. And, honestly, that's probably how they talked about Pippen. Because Pippen can, take control of a team for a game, maybe 2 games. He's hurt, he's out. But I just don't think you're ever going to see Tatum be that perennial all-star. Not like the top-tier guy. He'll be an all-star. But he won't be, all-pro, in the same verses as a Giannis, a Jordan, a LeBron, a KD, Kobe. I don't think Tatum will ever be there. So therefore, he'll never be an all-time great. Because I think in order to be considered an all-time great, you have to be among the elite in your era at least. Top 5-10 in your era. Because of course, Barkley, all-timer. He was never one of the best wasn't the best player in basketball. The whole time Jordan played, from the 90s, late 80s to the 90s, it was Jordan. Even though Magic won championships and the Boston won championships, Boston told you, that's God and sneakers. He is the king. He is the king of basketball. The best player. And he just had that drive. And honestly, you need to be an elite player in your own era to be considered an all-time great. And I guess that's probably why they consider Pippen there. Because I think in the era with Jordan and Pippen, he was probably top 15. I would think so. Wing players. It was still the league of centers, right? You had Hakeem, you had Shaq coming in, the end of Kareem. It was our big guys dominating. I think Mutombo was there, but he was all about defense. But the wing guys was just taking over. And then when Steph came, he took it to a whole nother level. He bounced the game from the inside to the outside. How far is Steph going to climb on the all-time ladder? Say he wins it this year. Which, my dream matchup, Milwaukee, Golden State, this year. That'd be awesome. The old versus the new. Everyone forgot about Golden State. Everyone thought it was all about KD. But they forget that they did the same thing without KD. He just happened to run into a good team with LeBron and the Cavaliers. And Draymond kind of got kicked out of the game, and it fucked up momentum and all this other shit. But honestly, What if Steph wins like 2 or 3 more? Will we ever consider Steph as like the greatest? He's already the greatest shooter ever. Already. So, I mean, how far can we take that? Well, that's weird. It's like a bunch of Greek symbols on the tire. The spare tire on that Jeep. It's weird. Kind of mesmerizing. Now, Steph is not a defender. All these top guys up there. I mean, LeBron not so much. I never thought of LeBron as an elite defender. I know he was for a time, but I never looked at him like that. I didn't. Even with his greatest play in the finals, when he jumped and he blocked the shot going in, that chase down block. I mean, for one, he's almost a foot taller than, I think it was Andre Iguodala, maybe? Forgot who we blocked, but he was substantially bigger. And there was other person that went in front of the person driving, and it slowed him down, so it gave LeBron that half-second step he needed to catch up. And maybe I'm diminishing LeBron's all-time thing, but I think Giannis's block last year was much better than LeBron's block in the playoffs. One, I think it was on Ayton, to where he was covering Booker or CP3 coming down the lane. Then they passed it to Ayton, and he jumped off of who he was guarding over to Ayton, switched guys, and stuffed him. That's an all-time block. That, I think, is the all-time block in the finals. And what's crazy is just people still have such a hard time giving Giannis his props. I mean, when have you ever... I mean, I don't remember. I'm sure Jordan has. I'm not saying he hasn't. But I don't ever remember a superstar coming up so big in an NBA Finals closeout game. I've seen people have big games in the finals. Game 1, Game 2, Game 3. On a closeout game to win it all. I mean, 50 points, 15 plus rebounds, bunch of assists. I don't know all of the stats. I know about the stats. But it was amazing. I was on the Giannis bandwagon before that game, don't get me wrong. But that cemented it. It really did. That cemented Giannis, I think, the best player in the world. And yes, he's better than KD. The only reason KD is even mentioned is because of his height and his ability to shoot over people. That's it. That's the only reason. He doesn't touch Giannis on defense. He doesn't touch Giannis on driving the ball. He doesn't touch him on assists or rebounds. And he has the height to do it. I mean, I think they're really close in height. I'm not sure. I think KD might be an inch taller. But Giannis tries. He tries on both ends. He doesn't score and then half-ass the other side. He doesn't make fake Twitters and fight with random strangers on Twitter because they hurt his feelings. I'm telling you. I think... Remember what happened to OJ in the 90s? Everyone thought something was a little off. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they thought OJ was off or not. But, I don't know. I think KD's going to do something stupid. When it's all said and done, he seems like, I don't know, someone's going to piss him off when his 40s or 50s and he's going to be past his prime and he's going to do something stupid. I think KD is just not all there. But again, that's just my opinion. I'm nobody. A random guy. Works Monday through Friday. My opinion is my opinion. That's all. If you don't like it, don't fucking listen. But Yeah, something off of KD. Anyway, I think Giannis is head and shoulders the best. I don't think it's a two-man show. I think it's Giannis. And honestly, the second best player, I don't think it's KD. It was probably be Joel. And I know the injuries, and I don't think say the same thing with KD, though. The injuries. Like, KD has been a star for staying healthy the last few years. Maybe his first few years, but he's riding his reputation. I don't think he's played a freaking full year since Golden State. I think since the year before his last year with Golden State, that'd be 4 years ago, he has not played a full year. And he might not even played a full year. He might not have. I'm not sure. But KD is not the star for staying healthy. Giannis is. But, I mean, Joel has played just as much as KD has in the last 4 years. And honestly, I think Joel's a better all-around player. He's a beast down low. And I love his personality. I mean, I think Joel, mentality-wise and personality-wise, is the closest we had to Shaq. And Shaq, he was just a lovable freaking big grizzly bear. Shaq was awesome. Coming from a Lakers fan, until LeBron leaves, I won't be a Lakers fan. I don't like him. I just don't like LeBron. I never have. I don't like the way he came into the league. Hey, I'm going to be the greatest thing ever. I don't like the way he championship chased. I don't like the way he bounced around. Basically, I mean, who knows what went on behind the scenes, but I don't like the way things happened when he was on their team. He shows up, makes his demands, plays with the great players, wins a few chips, he feels it falling apart, and takes off. So those few years, that organization basically did what he wanted them to do, and then he just left them high and dry. And I understand. He's the greatest at the time, the greatest he was. I can't say he wasn't the greatest player. He was the greatest player for about 10 years-ish. I don't think longer than 10 years. I think at the beginning it was Kobe. And I think he hasn't been the greatest player in the last 5 years. So I would say maybe even like a 8-year span that LeBron was the greatest player. And he's not anymore. He's going to be an all-time great. He has records coming out the ass. He's probably, barring injury, going to catch Kareem. And as a Jordan supporter, when it comes to all-time greats, it's tough. It's tough to quantify all the stats he has to not being better than Jordan. But, I mean, the biggest thing I come back with Jordan is just the pure domination. How many more players would have rings if not for Jordan? I mean, I think every player in the LeBron era that should have gotten a ring, got a ring, right? I mean, KD in his era, got it. Steph, got it. I mean, the players I think that should have gotten rings in LeBron's era got rings. But honestly, there's some players in Jordan's era that weren't able to do it because of Jordan specifically. And we had the Rockets sneak through only because he retired in baseball for 2 years. 2 years, I think. So the Rockets got theirs. So that got Hakeem. He's an all-time great. I think Clyde was there too. They got their ring. Barkley, never. Jordan. Malone, Stockton, never. Ewing, Jordan. Reggie Miller, Jordan. I mean, I think just the level of dominance that Jordan showed is probably why I think he will almost be impossible. Now, if Giannis runs off like 4 or 5 straight from last year, if he goes on and wins this year and wins a few in a row, I mean, he could have a pretty strong case. But that's in the future. I'm guessing way too far. We don't know what's going to happen. For all I know, Giannis is going to win 1, and that's his career. But, I mean, we could be entering the dawn of the Greek Freak. And he might dominate. And if he doesn't get all the stats that LeBron acquires, LeBron came in as like an 18-year-old kid. And he has played probably mostly healthy for 20 years. He's going to acquire stats, especially he does a little bit of everything. He does. He always did. LeBron has always done a little bit of everything. And that's the biggest thing that LeBron fans have over Jordan fans, is LeBron all around did more than Jordan. But the question is, did that have an impact more than what Jordan did great have an impact on his squads? And I say no. Even though LeBron was a better passer, better rebounder, that's basically it, I guess. Better at playing point guard than Jordan, basically. But I still think just Jordan scoring and his leading by example had more an effect on his team than all of LeBron's extracurricular point guardedness had on his teams. And I think the proof's in the pudding. The domination that Jordan had, I think we probably won't ever see again, especially from a wing guy. I mean, a center staying healthy, you can't stop him. Like Shaq, I guess you could see someone stringing some up. Like, he had his three-peat. We also had Kobe. But I don't see it. And the close thing I see, if Giannis develops a shot, a consistent jumper, not even a three-point shot. If he gets a three-point shot, it's over. Like a consistent three. But if Giannis develops a mid-range game, a consistent mid-range game, and steps his free throws up, 10%, to do it at least in the 80s, 70s is respectable, but in the 80s. 80 percentile or higher. 90s would be awesome. If he were to do that, he would be unstoppable. At his athletic peak, which is now, and hopefully it lasts at least under 5-6 years. Athletically. But if he is able to better his game to where his deficiencies are, like his shooting. Honestly, that's his only deficiency, is his shooting. You go outside 10 feet and he's not that consistent. But the great part is he has the athletic ability to get inside. And he's so hard to stop to get down low. And he's a hustler. He hustles everywhere. And that's good. And I've never heard once anybody say, yeah, KD's a hustler. KD puts it all on the court. No, he doesn't. KD half-asses. I'm sorry. He does. He's a great player, but he is so great with such God-given abilities that he can half-ass sometimes. But that's just the way he is. From afar. From afar. I don't know him. Never will. Just some guy with a white beard. But, all right. Well, no call today. Maybe she's sick. I'll give her a text later. All right. Well, everybody have a good day. I'm here at work. I'm going to get going. Be nice to people. Make it a better world. But argue. Argue's fun. Discuss stuff. Debate. That's the better way to go about it. Instead of canceling, ripping off, threatening violence. Talk it out. Treat others as you want to be treated. I just think it would be a better world. Be nice to people.